Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend, and thanks for hanging out with us here. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Chandler Jordan, and we do have a First Alert weather day in place because if you remember last week, we were keeping an eye out on an area of low pressure that was expected to develop off our shores as we wake up and get the day started. It has developed a little bit further since yesterday, and that's why our First Alert weather day remains in place. Tropical showers will be the main things you notice. We're going to have some pockets of heavy rain as these downpours build farther inland later today. With it, minor flooding is possible. I'd say more so in our typical trouble spots such as low-lying areas, maybe like a ditch, or if you live by a lake or a pond, something like that. These will be places that are a little more prone to getting some minor flooding out there today. And also we're going to have some wind gusts of anywhere from 30 to 40 miles per hour, especially this afternoon and evening. Here's the 8 o'clock advisory just coming into the First Alert Weather Center of potential tropical cyclone 8. The naming does not matter. No matter if this becomes a tropical storm or not, the impacts will be the same. And the reason why it has this potential tropical tag on it is because a potential tropical cyclone doesn't have an enclosed circulation, and that's the main thing we look for as far as determining a tropical system. Got to have an enclosed low. So that's the first step. This doesn't have it, but still very strong winds and some heavy rain around the core of the storm. So that's why we still have a First Alert weather day in place, even if this isn't able to enclose itself and earn a name. Now, the forecast from the National Hurricane Center thinks that there's still an opportunity for the circulation to enclose itself by this afternoon before it makes landfall. If that were to happen, this would become Tropical Storm Helene, and the moment it hits land, it slows down drastically, and with that, it also weakens very quickly. By tomorrow afternoon and especially by Wednesday, this will be nothing but a remnant area of low pressure, bringing the Carolinas and mid-Atlantic states some rain and gusty winds. Out there for us this morning, you can see the showers that are rotating offshore. A lot of us, though, waking up this morning dry. We did have a few showers out there along the 95 corridor. Look at all those deep shades of red with the lightning on First Alert satellite radar into Wilmington as well as Myrtle Beach. That's where the core of the storm is. That's where the strongest of wind and rain is, and that's not to say that all of this makes it into the Midlands, but we will get some of these heavier feeder bands of rain and these gustier winds to build later into the day today. So really the strongest of impact is going to be for Myrtle Beach, Florence. This will be where the strongest winds occur, as well as some of the heaviest rain. And then the farther west that you go from there, things look to slowly get a little bit better across the state, especially into the upstate where it's mostly dry this afternoon and evening, just awaiting the arrival of some of these showers as they build in from east to west throughout the day today. Now, as is the case with all tropical landfalling systems, there is a tornado threat. Thankfully, though, our tornado threat is always going to be to the right of the storm. That's where the typical strongest part is that can support tropical tornadoes, and that stays well away from us. That's why our tornado threat is only eastern North Carolina with this system, as well as Myrtle Beach. So that's some great news for us. And as far as the excessive rainfall risk, this is where we have the opportunity to pick up on a little bit of flooding out there. Through tomorrow morning, a level 2 of 4 slight risk of excessive rainfall is in place for much of the Carolinas, mainly though to the north and to the east of Lexington and Richland counties. All those places on your screen that you see in yellow, these are going to be areas where you're more likely to have heavy rainfall that could lead to ponding on roadways, or even in some instances the opportunity at some minor flash flooding. So here's First Alert Futurecast. We'll have wind gusts on it, and we pick it up out there for you this morning. Does a great job of showing the rain along the 95 corridor, and that's what we're working with pretty much from now until about this afternoon. Once we get into the afternoon, some of this heavier moisture is going to start to build farther inland. Notice how our eastern counties in particular with wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour through this afternoon and even into this evening as the heaviest of rain starts to move a little farther inland. So we still have showers. We're tracking strong gusts of wind out there as well this evening and into the night tonight. Thankfully, as our system moves off to the north overnight while we're sleeping, it'll weaken pretty quickly as it does. Still, though, Overnight, wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour can't be ruled out as we're waking up on Tuesday morning. I still think there's a little bit of leftover rain out there for the start of the day, but by your Tuesday afternoon, the rest of these showers get out of here. We'll have some thicker cloud cover in place, and as our low pressure lifts to the north, it'll provide us some relief as we head a little later into this week. So our first alert weather day is for the heavy rain and gusty winds that build in once we're later into this afternoon and evening. We get a few showers out there on Tuesday, and then as our low pressure lifts off to the north, check it out, Wednesday as well as Thursday, not looking that bad. We've got some trends that would suggest we dry out, and that'll allow our temperatures to warm on up pretty quickly into the mid and upper 80s as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. So really for us out there, we're fine this morning. Rain along 95. As the day moves on, the rain moves farther inland, and with it, the stronger gusts of wind will also move farther inland, and eventually that's where we get our source of rain and wind here across the Midlands. For your latest forecast, you can always check out our website, wistv.com. This is where we have our latest weather article. You can go to our tropics article or our first alert weather article. Both of these places for today will have the source of what you need as far as your forecast as you get your work week started. All in all, though, once we get rid of this system tonight and into Tuesday, the rest of the week doesn't look that bad, and we do have some trends that would suggest some drying for us, which would be nice since we've had all these rain chances around for the last several days. For the First Alert Weather Team, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Chandler Jordan. Stay safe out there, stay weather aware, keep an eye out on radar, especially if you're traveling eastward or if you live around 95, Lee, and Chesterfield counties. These are going to be some places that, especially later today and into the night tonight, are going to deal with more of the impacts from our potential tropical cyclone 8. Don't go anywhere. We'll be starting What's New this morning coming up in just a few minutes.